Hi, I'm delighted to be here with John Rushton, the Life Doctor, as they
Rasheed.
call you. I love that title, because I guess that's because you help people with life issues. It doesn't mean you're a medical doctor, but you help people with all their life dilemmas.
That's right. Yes.
You published this new book at a crossroads,
Yes.
and presumably people come to all sorts of different crossroads in their life. Is that why it's called that?
Yes, it's what I've picked up over the many, many years of seeing people and travelling around the world. I've had a few crossroads in my life, and I've come across lots of people, both in the commercial industries and personally. What do I do? Where do I go? What's happening? I'm not happy. I can't understand this. I can't. It's a crossroad. What do I do now?
Right.
And all this. I've tried everything. No, you haven't.
Right.
Read this.
Tell me a little bit about, first of all, some of the crossroads that you found yourself at, and then tell me some of those kind of crossroads moments that other people have found themselves at, because I think it'd be really useful to just get a sense of some of those themes that come up again and again, because I guess somebody might be at a crossroads themselves in their own life and realise, hang on, you're not the first person to come to this crossroads. Tell us a little bit about, for you in your life and your career, what were those crossroads moments?
I think one of the major ones was actually when I was gainfully employed and made redundant my company, actually relocated from London to Geneva, and I didn't really want to go there. And so it's a case, now what do I do? Because I was very lucky with the company I was with, and I decided I wanted to start something completely different, which is what I'm doing now. But it was a major decision in that time. Looking back, you think, well, we're all experts of hindsight. But it was a major decision to do that, and I don't regret a second of it. But it was something which you've got to come to terms with, because you've got to have an income. You've got to sort of do something which is completely different from what I was doing previously, and it makes a world of difference.
Right, and tell me some about the, and I know that you do lots of work with people one-to-one, you do a radio show and so on. Tell me some of those other kind of crossroads that you find that people, other kind of crossroads that people find themselves at. Give us an idea of some of those kind of crossroads times in people's lives, the kind of things that people come to you with.
I think one of the biggest things is actually happiness. And it sounds funny, but people actually sometimes have everything they could possibly want. I know, without going to realms of fantasy, but everything's okay, but they're still not happy. And they get really upset because there's something missing. There's just something in the pit of their stomach, that void that wants quenching. And that's one of the biggest things that
So that's an interesting one, isn't it?
Yes.
That's a really interesting one, because there's the situation that you described that lots of people might be an actual event, a redundancy, a separation, whatever it might well be. And then there's this subtler kind of, often, I say subtler, might end up being pronounced, but a more an internal crossroads, this thing about that happiness.
Yes.
And you said something fascinating just before when we were talking about here. You said one of the most common things that you find, and one of the key areas for lots of people is their mental health and their mental well-being. Tell me a little bit about that, and how that connects with this thing about if people find themselves at a crossroads. What's the connection here with mental health?
Well, one of the largest problems of mental health today is with children, and it's growing substantially, mainly because they don't have parents during the day or until late in the evening. And the last thing they hear their parents say is, don't do this, don't do that, don't talk to this person, don't talk to that person, don't come here, don't go there, do this. And that's it. They don't get any sort of love or cuddles or anything. They may get a kiss and goodbye, and that's it. But it's all don't. And then when they meet up with their parents in the evening, it's, oh, you've no idea what a day I've had this. And they're getting grown-up talk now, filtered down onto younger brains. And the younger brains now are quite sort of astute, because they're all sort of computer literate, or something. I'm not, but they can fiddle around with computers and talk and make them sing and dance, and they're getting this sort of the dichotomy of thought. And people, majority of people today, when they say they have a problem, they don't have a problem as such. They know what the problem is. It's a mental attitude towards it. It's sorting it out and the understanding.
And I guess one of the things that here is that, I mean, you were telling me a little bit about the book earlier on. You put 41 chapters.
Yes.
And what is it that you've been keen to do that? Is it different perspectives on different life dilemmas? And tell us a little bit about what you've done with the layout of the book and what people will find inside this book.
Well, there are 41 chapters, very short chapters, so you can read it on the go, on the bus, or the tube, or the train, or at home, or at bed, just for a couple of pages reading just before you go to sleep. So it's all quite sort of explicit, and it all tells you about the various aspects of life that you get into, and also the problems which you go through as well.
Right, and I like this. Just some of these short chapters: resolution, choices and decisions, sorting out your life, the resolution facade, liberating oneself, trapped in another reality, when you've nothing to live for. So it sounds like you've picked up these different kind of themes, and I get the sense from this that you've almost given people a different insight, perspective, or just things for them to consider that might well be helpful for them in their life situation. Is that kind of the objective with this book, to perhaps give them some stuff that might well be useful as they are there with their dilemma, that might well be useful for them as they move forward from it?
Yes, I think you're absolutely right there. It's insight.
Yeah.
I've put down things which I've seen other people go through,
Yeah.
or what they've said they've gone through, or what they've said that they're facing themselves. I don't want to give advice because it's a one-size-fits-all, and I don't believe that exists,
Right.
because we can all go to the same destination, but via 10,000 different routes, because we all know what makes us tick. But if you outline to other people the possibilities of doing something slightly differently, or looking for something from a different angle, it makes a world of difference.
Lovely. Well, John, for people who are keen to get hold of this book, and I'm just loving this, ever felt stuck in life, what to do, where to go, how, why, still don't know. Well, at Crossroads has been written specifically for you to see the obstacles, the areas of life that hold you back, and as you're saying, different perspectives. If people are trying to find this book, where's the best way for them to get hold of it?
I think the best way is to go to amazon.co.uk or amazon.com if you're in
Yeah.
the States, and it's yours for a few pounds.
Absolutely. Well, fantastic. And if people are trying to find you, what's the best way for them to reach you?
On my website, which is www.thelifedoctor.info.
Well, fantastic. I'm looking forward to reading my copy, and I just want to wish you all the best with the book, and I hope lots of people get a lot of comfort and powerful insight from that, and all the best with your continuing work with people all around the world.
Thank you.
Take care.
Rasheed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.